Sometimes it takes a mountain. Sometimes a troubled sea. Sometimes it takes a desert to get a hold of me. Your love is so much stronger than whatever troubles me. Sometimes it takes a mountain to trust you and believe. Forgive me, Jesus. I thought I could control whatever life has thrown my way. But death, I will admit, has brought me to my knees. I need you, Lord, and I'm not ashamed to say, hey. Sometimes it takes a mountain. Sometimes a troubled sea. Sometimes it takes a desert to get a hold of me. Your love is so much stronger than whatever troubles me. Sometimes it takes a mountain to trust you and believe. Sometimes it takes a mountain to trust you and believe. Sometimes it takes a mountain. Sometimes the troubled sea. Sometimes it takes a desert to get a hold of me, get a hold of me. Your love is so much stronger. It whatever troubles me. Sometimes it takes a mountain to trust you and believe. Sometimes it takes a loved one to trust you and believe. Yes, sometimes it takes a loved one to trust you and believe.
Yes, indeed, we need sometimes a loved one to trust in Jesus, to trust and believe in him. Let me remind you, we need one another. We were created to serve one another. We need one another when we are mourning, just like we are today. We need one another to comfort, for comfort. We need one another when we are in trouble and are afraid. We need one another when we are in despair and temptation and need to be recalled to our best selves again. We need one another when we would accomplish some great purpose and cannot do it alone. We need one another in the hour of success when we look for someone to share our triumphs. We need one another in the hour of defeat when with encouragement we might endure and stand again. We need one another when we come to die and would have gentle hands prepare us for the journey. All our lives are in need, and others are also in need of us. Let us continue with Jarek and Biana Lormilsaint in the biography.
Good morning. So before we begin, I just want to start by saying that I am not going to stand here and lie on my father's name. He would want me to tell the truth and nothing less. My father was not a perfect man. He was flawed, he got upset, distant, and his love was harsh at times. But who are we to say that any of us are perfect at all? Who are we to say that any of us truly deserves the purest kind of love, the love of God himself? Growing up, my father had that love. While my grandfather was in the country, my dad and his brothers lived in Gonaive, where he was born. They lived a few houses down from my grandmother on my mom's side, and she became very close to them. This is where he and my mother first met, and they became best friends and got closer when they were 13 years old. Eventually, my mom's father brought her to the United States when she was 14, and my dad stayed back. While he was in Haiti, he started getting an education in the field of electricity, but stopped when he came to America.
I wanted to say thank you all for coming out here to support. My name is Jarek. I'm the oldest. When my father was 24 years old, he was blessed enough to come to America with nothing but clothes on his back. Since my mom was already here, she had a friend named Gerald help my dad find a place to stay. He ended up sleeping on the floor in a one-bedroom apartment. Every day he'll come home from work, he'll get his favorite meal, some chicken wings. They both started working 2 jobs, and one of his jobs was a gas station, but he barely spoke English. Customers would come in and out trying to speak with him, but he didn't understand a word they were saying. They would yell and curse at him for being an immigrant who didn't know how to speak English, and sometimes he'd end up in tears because of it. That's a secret he told me. He ain't tell nobody that. At one point, even though he didn't enjoy it, he was promoted to being a manager at a gas station to keep his workers without. Yeah, at one moment, he wasn't very happy with his current situation because he didn't see himself working this low, but he knew this is what he was built. He knew this is what he had to do to build himself up. He always moved humbly and with courage. Both our parents started working hard trying to make money to build a life for themselves. Our dad was working at Publix in a gas station while my mom was working at a gas station and doing hair. Our parents stacked up their money and got married August 1st, 1999. Then they got an apartment together. They went on and had me in 2000 and kept grinding. A couple years after, they had brought home my sis when she was 8 months old. But both of my parents worked harder and went to school and earned their certifications. My father was starting electric school again and eventually started working in electricity 4 years later. Pastor Rudy used to always talk to my dad about finishing school. Our parents then had Hendrik and Janard, and our family was whole. Our parents created a great life for themselves and for us.
Growing up, our father always made sure his family was good. He, along with my mother, always made sure we were fed and felt safe. Not only did he take care of my family, he also took care of children in Haiti. Last year, he went to Haiti and paid the schooling and tuition for 13 kids and bought them school supplies. Because of this, their parents were very grateful, and they would not be getting an education without this. And thankfully, before my dad passed, he went to Haiti and finished paying their tuition. He also sponsored a few children in Africa. My dad also made sure to take the time to take us out and have fun with us. He took us on trips to Canada and to Haiti and showed us exactly where he was from. Whenever we went out, he made sure we were happy and always tried to spoil us. He didn't care how much it costed as long as we were happy. He even would tell us to get the most expensive thing on the menu because the bill was on him. He loved to have fun with us and go on family trips. He especially used to love taking us to parks. I remember one time he used to joke around and pick me up and hold me over the lake and act like he was going to drop me, but he would never let anything actually happen to me. My dad made sure to show he appreciated all of us. He loved my mom the best way he could and used to give us whoopings for being disobedient to her. He used to spoil her and gave her any and everything that she desired. He was playful with her and even laughed at her when she cried because she missed him already after he came back to the United States, after they went on vacation in Haiti. He also talked about how much he loved his dad and how he was everything to him. He taught us how to love his dad the same way he did. His dad was another one of the people he loved the most, so to our grandfather, we will continue to love you and be here for you forever and always. You are the head of our family, and even though our father is no longer with us, we will continue to stay strong for you and everyone else. Et puis, excusez-moi que je me va pas. D'accord. Papa me depale ki jan de reme grand-papa. Li de di non grand-papa c'est tout bagay pou li. Li moute non ki jan pou reme grand-papa même jan li reme grand-papa. So, de grand-papa non la pou na reme pou tout journée qui passe après ça. C'est ou même qui tête famille. Et puis même si j'ai trop bala avec nous, n'a prêté fort pour avec pour tout le monde.
As you all know, my pops had a good heart, deep down. He was the type of man who would never stab you behind the back. He stands on his words and what he believes in. He also had a best friend named John as well, who played a big role in my dad's life. They were so close to each other that they would have the same type of laugh, the same type of haircuts, bald-headed. And yeah, my dad was really goofy. He'll laugh through the pain. I remember when he first got sick, the first week of January, he knew that he was majorly sick, but he still laughed through it. He told me that he was going to lose weight off of it, and he was happy about that. Yeah. Yeah, and even so, like at work, times will get hard. He'll still push on. He'll still laugh. He had great friends like Will, Roberto, Edgar, Edwidge, Chico, Pepe, Pastor Rudy, Galaxy, Seke, yeah, Chico, Gene. Yeah, and I appreciate all of y'all for coming out. And yeah, all y'all taught me something. Doing these side jobs on him, I learned something new every single day. I meet new people. And yeah, it really built me because of him. And he was a smart man who believed in education. He taught us that knowledge is power, and the more that you learn, the higher you stand. He eventually went back to school for the third time, increased his education in electricity, and then earned a master's and became an electrical contractor. When he got his license, he left his job and began a business, PBC Electrical LLC. He worked hard to build it from bottom and struggled at the beginning, but he was dedicated. Our father was a businessman and always saw himself as a CEO. He built his clientele, and eventually, after only a year, he got to work with clients in Palm Beach with luxury homes. He did this for a while and increased his revenue for the business. With more experience from working in residential homes, he got the opportunity to work at bigger projects and even a whole apartment complex.
Alright. Sorry if I sound shaky. I'm nervous. To start, my dad was a lot of things, but the things that definitely stood out about him was his humor and his discipline. I can give like 2 short stories describing his humor and discipline. So first, it was like this one time, me, I think JoJo, and my sister, we was in the living room. And like in the living room, it's like a little glass thing, because my mom likes furniture and stuff. It's a whole bunch of stuff in the house for no reason. But I'm playing with like some glass thing on the table. I guess it slipped out of my hands and fell. He's like, "What is that?" It's just silence, because like none of us was saying anything. So then, you know what I'm saying, I had to go to the room and say it was me. He's like, "Why you did that?" And I was like, "It was an accident." He's like, "Come here, I got something for you." And I thought I was about to get a whooping of a lifetime. But he just gave me $20 and told me good job. And I'm just standing there like, what the hell? And then it was another time, like August. I'm not the problem child, he really is, but I was bored, so I just took my mom's car, you know what I'm saying, around the neighborhood, just for the fun of it. And like, he was at work that day, so usually like, he works from 6 and comes back around like 4 or 5 type stuff. But like, it was like 11 in the morning. I'm driving the car, and I see his company van coming down the road. My heart literally stopped. I'm like, it's no way. He could have came home at any time, but it's right now. So he's coming down the road, like he's like slowly driving because he sees my mom's car like not in the drive-thru no more. And then it was just like, it's no point. I might as well just go back and just take this L. So he comes in the drive-thru. He sits in his car, like seeing like who's in the car because I'm right behind him. He stepped out the van. I parked the car perfectly, just so he knew I could drive, and nothing was gonna happen. So then he came out the car. He walked up to the window. Now I'm dropping the window like slowly. I'm making eye contact with him. He was like, "Safela," and I'm just not saying anything. He was like, "You got a license? You wanna kill me?" And I'm like, "No." He was like, "Ms. Safela." He was like, "Get the hell out the car." And he was like, "Say Daniel for money on machine," which means like that's the last time I'm ever touching a car ever again. And I thought he meant that because usually he'd be standing on his word. So I walk inside, like my feet about to drop, like I'm so nervous because I knew if he came back from work later on that day, I was dead. So I'm waking up, JoJo. I'm like, JoJo. I'm slayed. Like this is I'm done. This is it. JoJo waking up, I sleep like. And then after that, he had called Biana. You know, Haitians being dramatic. He's like, "I can't trust these kids. They're gonna kill me one day." And man, I've been causing machine manies, etc., etc. Whole time when he came home, he was just like, "So stupid. I can't believe you." And I'm just like, it is what it is. But you know what I'm saying. Oh yeah, and he didn't tell my mom until like months later.
Alright. My dad was a smart guy and a fun guy. My dad was also very funny. I don't really have a favorite moment with my dad because all the moments I had with him was good, except for when he whooped me. I remember one time when me and Indrik were kids, he asked us how much hits did we want to hit us with a belt. And Indrik would say 20 because he thought that my dad was joking. And I would say 1 hit. And then my dad would actually hit me one time and whoop Indrik 20 times. I had a lot more funny moments with my dad. I love him, and I'm gonna miss him.
It wasn't until 2020 when I realized how important family was. Something in me just woke up when I realized everything my mom and dad did for me. Back then, me and my dad were distant. He was in his own lane and I'd be in my own. I didn't really talk to him but then I realized with family, you have to be there for one another, support each other's dreams, and make each other proud. I finally gained the confidence to build a bond with him. My dad started his business and started asking me to go on side jobs with him. And we'd go every day, back to back. He taught me something every day and helped me to see how important knowledge and education was, because the more knowledge you have, the more power and respect you receive. The more you get, the easier life is. We worked hard, 5 days a week, back to back, 6 a.m. sometimes to 11 p.m. just grinding. Out of that, we built a bond and I started understanding him more. I always knew he was intelligent, but I never knew he had a vision so clear. I wanted to support I wanted to support him the same way I'd support a close friend and wanted to gain that same respect and knowledge he had. So I plan on keeping his legacy, and through him, my path is golden. My father's dreams will not die with him. He's one of my biggest role models. I know you're in a better place right now. I'm going to do what I have to do to make you and the family proud.
From this point on, I will also work my hardest to make my father proud and push myself further than I already was. Any doubt or obstacle put in front of me, I will take as a challenge against my abilities and win each one. In doing so, I will move in light of everything my father has done for me and built for me and put even more weight to the name Lormilsaint. I didn't always have the best relationship with my dad, but it wasn't until less than 2 years ago we started getting closer. My mom and everyone started to see that I was for real my father's daughter. We were almost the same person. We both had the same humor and same roughness, as some of you know, and love to annoy my mom. My mom to this day still says, "Oh, c'est petit Jethro here." Even though it's a tragedy, I believe his death was truly in God's plan. The year before his death, he began getting closer with my mom again, got closer with Jarek and I, and even got closer with distant family. He hadn't, for example, he hadn't talked to his goddaughter Stephanie in a few years and finally reconnected with her a few months ago. He was building his relationships with people he grew apart from. He also called my auntie Damie, who he hadn't spoke to in a while, 2 months ago, and asked her how her and the kids were doing, and it took her by shock. He did this with a good amount of people. I believe this was God working behind him and allowing him to make amends in peace before his final days. Like Pastor Robert said last night, my father made his bed before he laid in it. Someone as close to me as a sister, Serena, allowed me to see that his death shouldn't be seen as Someone as close to me as a sister, Serena, helped me to realize that even though we'll all miss him, his death should be seen as a blessing because he's been lifted up and taken out of sin and into a place where there's no more pain, stress, or suffering. Even though some of our prayers were not answered, God did what he thought was best, and everything in his glory will follow after. So to the first man to ever love me and mean it, the first to spoil me, first to tell me I was beautiful, first to tell me nothing was impossible or out of my reach, first to teach me hard lessons that I didn't know I needed, and first to show me and tell me how valued I am, I will never forget you. This is not a goodbye because we will see you later in divine sanctuary. Your name will always hold weight in my heart, and your voice is a voice I will never forget. God rest your soul, always and forever. We love you.
Et maintenant, nous allons auditionner ensemble le groupe Crayon Divin. Groupe Crayon Divin. Donc, si ils n'est pas prêt, n'a pas fait place avec Emmanuel Band. On a fait place avec le groupe Rayon Divin.
Mais oubliez, puissant Jésus gagnait. Souffrance ta vie, acclame misère chaque jour. Jésus va comme changer, toujours là. Je vous le senti ou fatigué, je ne veux pas fatiguer. Oh, Jésus, va soulager. Jésus va changer, Jésus va changer. L'amour est toujours là. Il va seulement rêver, si tout est au ressenti ou fatigué, Jésus va soulager. Nous-mêmes, ouais, ma Seigneur, ta fille perdu espoir, même les oués, soucis la vie barrée, levez non, songez que Jésus là, lui-même qui t'aime, saura l'humanité. Et tu vas jamais changer, tu vas jamais changer, l'amour est toujours là. Il va jamais oublier, seulement rêver, les autres ressentis ou fatigués, nous fatigués, oui, dans Jésus, Jésus va soulager. Jésus va jamais changer, Jésus va jamais changer, l'amour est toujours là. Il va jamais seulement rêver, les yeux ressentis ou fatigués, nous fatigués, Jésus va soulager. L'amour est toujours là. Il va jamais oublier. Tellement rêvé. Bisous que vous ressenti ou fatigué. Oui, dans Jésus. Et Jésus, sois soulagé. Jésus va jamais changer, Jésus va jamais changer. Il est toujours là, il va jamais oublier. Seulement rêver, les jours que vous le sentez, vous fatigué, oui, dans pied Jésus.
Roi soulagé.
Mesdames et messieurs, parents et amis affligés par le deuil de mon très cher ami, cet ami fidèle et courageux, Jethro Lormilsaint, je vous salue dans le nom précieux du Maître de l'univers, Yahvé Sabaoth.
Ladies and gentlemen, friends, parents affected by this death, I greet you in the name, the most precious name of Jesus Christ.
En effet, la mort nous rassemble aujourd'hui
Death assembled us today
au nom d'un adventiste du 7e jour
in the name of a Seventh-day Adventist
qui n'était pas hypocrite.
who is not an hypocrite.
Jethro, pas seulement un adventiste,
Jethro was not just an Adventist,
il était un chrétien adventiste.
but he was a Seventh-day Christian Adventist.
Si Jethro vous dit oui, restez calme.
If Jethro said yes, be sure,
Il
be
sera
calm.
avec vous jusqu'au bout.
He will be with you through the end.
C'est un homme qui ne manquait jamais à sa parole.
It is a man who stands behind his words.
Il est écrit que les vrais amis sont rares.
It is written that good friends are not easy to come by.
Mesdames et messieurs, Jethro te yon nan pi bons amis que m'te gen dans la
Ladies and
vie.
gentlemen, Jethro was one of my best friends.
Humainement parlant,
Humanly speaking,
moi dois le succès pastoral moi ici dans Florida.
I own the success of my pastoral ministry here in Florida.
Tout combat m'te gen chaque jour, c'est Jethro qui était devant là-dedans.
All the battles that I have, Jethro was
Mes soucis,
there.
tant
My care.
pastoral que financier,
Pastoral of finance,
c'était Jethro.
Jethro was
Quand
there.
moi te dois fonder des églises, moi te pensais à,
When I
mais
had to
Jethro
build
te
a church.
facilitateur.
Jethro, I was the thinker. Jethro,
Comme pas
Was
toi,
facilitator.
ni en haut ni en bas.
when I see no ups, no downs,
Après avoir prié,
after I pray,
c'est Jethro que me connais.
I know no other one but
Et
Jethro.
histoire l'église que me passé ici dans Florida,
And the story of the church that I
est
went to,
très très difficile.
they're very difficult.
Mais avec la présence de Jethro à côté de moi,
But with Jethro stand by me,
après bon Dieu,
and after God,
me pas de peur en rien du tout.
I was not afraid at all.
Et yon dans l'église que m'était passé, c'était yon dans l'église qui était payé rently plus cher ici à West Palm Beach.
One of the church that I had the pleasure of directing was one of the church that its rent was the most expensive,
Nous t'es payé par mois $2,800.
and it cost us monthly $2,800.
Et pour payer rent ça,
And to pay this rent,
nous pas de prendre comme ni dans offrande de l'église ni dans dîme là.
we didn't take money neither from the offering
Elle
or
avait
for the
expliqué,
tithes.
j'ai trouvé que nous pas qu'à kembe ça.
And when I explained to Jethro that we
Il était
cannot
comme
go
seule
on,
parole, il dit,
and he had one word that he told me.
il dit ça c'est boule à terre.
Yes.
Boule à terre. Faut pas qu'il regrette ça. Boule à terre. Yeah.
Give me a minute, they'll come around.
Et, mesdames et messieurs, $2,800, ça fait 18 années environ, pas de facile pour te joindre pour payer.
$2,800. 18 years ago, that was not
Et
easy.
j'ai trop organisé l'église là en façon
And
que
Jethro organized the church in
chaque
such a
mois on
way.
payait.
Every month we were able to pay.
J'ai trop en bénédiction.
Jethro was a blessing.
Et un jour, nous venons l'église là pour adorer le Seigneur.
One day we come to church to praise
L'église là
God,
était
to worship.
vide.
The church was empty.
Son l'église nous était loin.
It was a church that we rented.
Et là, nous arrivons, nous pas vu ni banc, ni chair, ni piano, rien du tout.
And when we got there was no pews, no podium,
Et ça
no
passait.
pianos, nothing.
Le pasteur qui était loin de l'église là,
And what happened? The pastor that rented us
il
the
était
church
quoi à faire avec l'État.
he had some issues with the
Et
state.
dans la même semaine, là, ils prennent tout ça qui est dans
And that
l'église.
same week, they seized everything that was
Et
inside
là,
the church.
on a adoré l'église en vide.
And when we come to worship, the church was empty.
Et m'a parlé de nos bagailles, le arrivé à 7h du matin,
And I'm talking
samedi,
about
que nous constatons.
something when we show up at 7 a.m. on Sabbath morning.
Jethro, il faut appeler les membres d'église.
And that's what Jethro, we
Pour
have
nous
to call the
dire,
church
pas
members.
qu'il y a l'église.
We have to tell them there won't be no church.
Jethro dit boule à terre.
Jethro dit bulate.
Mesdames et messieurs,
I told you.
avant 9h pour l'église commencer.
Ladies and gentlemen, before 9 o'clock, we
L'église
have
là,
to
il y a
start.
une chaise là-dedans.
Hey,
Il y a une chair. Il y a
there
keyboard.
was pews, there was
Il y a
keyboard, there was a
everything.
podium. Everything was there so that we can worship God.
Jethro était un facilitateur.
Jethro was the
On
facilitator.
pas qu'à vivre sans Jethro.
We cannot live without Jethro.
Son monde moi remet en pile.
It is a man that I love
Et qui remet en pile.
and who loves me as
Et
well.
comme t'es nous qui t'es Florida,
And when I had to
c'est
leave
yon
the
nan
state,
bagay qui te fait me souffrir.
it's one of the things that leave
Vive
me now.
loin Jethro.
Live far from
Loin
Jethro.
équipe ça que m'te gagné.
Live far from this team that I have.
Frère Philippe.
For brother Philip,
Mesdames et messieurs,
ladies and gentlemen,
le Seigneur m'a donné la vie pour que aujourd'hui je puisse accomplir devoir.
the Lord has gifted me the life so that I can accomplish this work,
Apporter la parole de consolation à la famille Lormilsaint.
to carry the word of consolation to the Lormilsaint
Parce
family.
que 5 mois de cela,
Because 5 months ago,
j'étais mort.
I was dead.
5 mois de cela,
5 months ago,
j'étais mort.
I was dead.
Moi, songez, le docteur te dit, moi,
I
j'ai
remember
38
what the doctor
minutes
said.
pour mourir.
You have 38 minutes to die.
En présence de mon épouse.
And right there in front of my wife.
Parce que tension me descend 72
Because my
par
blood
30.
pressure went down 72 by 30.
Et tout organe m'a été allé.
And all my organs start to fail.
Gallbladder,
My kidneys, my gallbladder,
everything. Et tout sang m'était empoisonné.
all my blood.
Docteur dit, pas rien qui est fait.
And doctors said there's nothing they could do.
38.
38 minutes to
Et à la
die.
vérité, moi, j'étais mort après 38 minutes.
And in reality, I was dead after 38 minutes.
Moi, réalisé que le Seigneur rebonne la vie.
I realized God has re-gifted me life.
J'ai trop pas de cas mourir pour me pas, des privilèges pour te porter
That
parole,
Jethro could
consolation
die,
pour
that
famille.
I should be the one to
C'est ton
consolate
bon
the family.
ami.
The
C'est ton
words
bon
of
ami.
consolation for the family.
La mort rassemblée aujourd'hui, hein.
Death that guided us today.
Et moi, je veux dire, non, mesdames et messieurs,
And I want to tell you, ladies and gentlemen,
et c'est pas quelque chose qui nous peur, la mort.
it is not something that we
On
fear.
peut crier
Death.
pour quelque chose.
We may cry for certain
On peut
things.
trembler pour lui.
We may tremble for
Mais
it.
c'est pas peur ou peur.
We should not be
Et
afraid
moi,
of
t'as
death.
aimé, le tout pour nous sortir là aujourd'hui, hein.
And I would love,
De
as we live
sortir
here,
avec la
that
conviction
we live with the
que la
conviction
mort pas bon, c'est vrai.
that death is
Mais
not
non pas
bad.
peur la
But
mort.
we should not be afraid of death.
Pas peur la mort.
We should not be afraid of
Pour qui
death.
ça?
Why?
Et n'a pas l'ouel tout de suite, dans
Then
petit temps
we all
gagné
want
pour
to
nous
see
capable
why.
parler.
In the short
De
time
telle
that we
sorte
have.
que la famille Lormilsaint capable de consoler aujourd'hui hein, au nom de Jésus de Nazareth.
So that the family,
Quelqu'un disait avec sagesse
someone said,
que
with
le
wisdom,
monde fait, yo get un ouais dans l'île la plaide ou bien la belle.
when someone is born, we could
Hey,
assume that
get me
either they
one
will
qui
be good looking
Les
or,
cabines intelligents ou bien la sorte.
and someone say maybe they will be wise or
Gen
not so
moun qui ka
wise.
dit la courte ou bien la
And someone
grosse.
say maybe he will be tall or short.
Mais personne pas jamais dit,
But no one ever said
il pas jamais mourir.
he's never gonna die.
De telle sorte que la mort sont réalité, mesdames, mesdemoiselles et messieurs.
So death is a reality.
Les statistiques disent
The statistic
que dans l'année 2001, 1er
C'est-
juillet 2021,
July 1st,
monde l'an
2021.
gagné la donné 7,8 à 7,9 milliards habitants.
In the world, there was 7.8 to 7.9
Mais on
billion.
dit pourtant, chaque année,
But they said every year,
mesdames,
Every
mesdemoiselles
year.
et messieurs, il y a 57 millions de monde qui quittent le monde là.
there's 57 million people who left
57
this world.
millions tombés chaque année. dans le monde.
Every year, 57 people die.
Mais pourtant, le n'a regardé autour de nous, c'est comme si
But
nous
when we're
pas
looking around us, we don't see the difference.
Moun sa yo qui mourit, gen pas gen vide. Au fur et à mesure moun ap mouri, mais nous senti que pas gen
We
espace
can't see the
vide
difference because
autour.
as people die, people are also being
Qui ça
born.
fait ça? C'est
What
parce
happened?
que chaque 6 secondes,
Every 6
il est
seconds,
rapporté que gagné 3 personnes qui fêtent dans le monde là,
and it said there was 3 people are born every 6
Chaque
seconds.
6 secondes.
Every 6 seconds.
De telle sorte que le monde là équilibré entre le monde qui a mouru et puis le monde qui a fait. Et c'est ça que la parole de Dieu nous dit au psaume chapitre 8, verset 5.
And that's why the word of God said in
Qu'est-ce que l'homme
Psalm
pour
8,
que
verse
tu te
5.
souviennes de lui?
What is man that shall
Et le
mindful
fils
of
de
him?
l'homme pour que tu prennes garde à lui?
And the son of man that
Et
you should
il
take
dit,
care
on
of.
fait le peu inférieur à Dieu.
You have made
Et
him
tu
live
l'as
look lower than
couronné de
the
gloire
angels,
et
and
de
you crown him with
magnificence.
glory and
Le
honor.
temps où yon zèb vèt, ou ouais matin, et puis puis t'as l'heure passé, et puis
Man.
zèb la fin.
It's like a grass.
Bon, l'ouvre les yeux, non, sur une réalité, mesdames et messieurs.
Let me open your eyes in this
Puis
reality.
fort nan non,
Most of us,
nous nés dans l'hôpital,
we live in a hospital.
mais nous mourons tout dans l'hôpital.
We also die in a hospital.
L'un bébé, tout le
When
monde
we
vient
are-
saluer nous dans l'hôpital,
when
la
we are born,
naissance nous prend.
Everyone
Et
comes
c'est
to greet
fait
us in the
qui gagne
hospital,
dans
and
la chambre
there's
l'hôpital,
great
ça.
joy
On est content, parce que
Everyone's
mon bébé
happy.
qui fait.
because someone is born.
Mais dans même l'hôpital, là, dans
But
l'autre
at the same
section,
hospital, in the other section,
il y a un monde qui était né dans l'hôpital.
there was someone who was
Et puis
also
qui
born
dans
in the
une chambre
hospital,
qu'après
who was
mourir.
also in the
Et
room.
dans la même
who's gonna
chambre,
die.
ça,
In that
il y a un
same
monde qui a
room,
pleuré,
someone
qui
is
a
crying.
l'eau danger. C'est la contradiction de la vie, mesdames, mesdemoiselles et messieurs. De telle sorte que, qui que vous soyez,
Whoever you are,
ou maître pasteur, ou
pastor,
maître infirmière, ou maître
Engineer,
ingénieur, ou
nurse,
maître chauffeur professionnel, agronome, quelle que soit
a
la
cab
profession,
driver, agronomist,
la mort,
death
il est pour frapper, oui, on l'a.
will come knocking at your door soon.
C'est en réalité.
It is the reality.
Et comment réagir face à ça, mesdames,
And how do we
mesdemoiselles et
react?
messieurs? Il
Face
montre
this
là,
reality.
tisser aux gens pour faire nous oublier si nous gagnons pour mourir. Ça
And
fait
the
nous
word
vivre
is
bien.
channeled certain ways that make us
En
forget
pile monde qui
how.
a vivre bien, ils ferment les yeux sur la mort.
And a
Ils
lot
fait
of
comme l'autruche.
we could live well, but we in turn close our eyes on death.
Et connaissez-vous l'autruche? Il y a un oiseau, il y a un gros oiseau qui lui-même leur a couru derrière pour tuer, lui entre tête, lui en bas en paille. Vous connaissez cet oiseau, n'est-ce pas vrai? Et pour l'autruche là, de vous pas well,
And as the ostrich,
lui pas well.
when you don't see him,
Depuis
you
le
don't
pas
see him.
well.
If you
Ou
don't
pas well.
see him, I can't see you.
Ces oiseaux qui plus facile pour kembe et pour tuer.
And it is the bird that is the easiest to catch to
Parce que
kill.
depuis le pas well,
Because if you
Pour
don't
lui-même.
see me, and for that bird,
ou pas well.
you can't see him,
Et pour mettre les mains sur lui.
and you could actually catch it.
Nous vivons comme cet oiseau.
But we live just like
Nous
this
faut
bird.
oublier la mort.
We forgot death
Juste pour nous qu'à vivre bien.
just so that we can live well.
Et puis il met les mains sur nous.
And death catch us
L'élevée.
whenever it wants,
Côté élevé.
wherever it
Et
wants,
façon qu'elle voulait.
however it wants.
Et en pile dans nous, nous
And a lot
perdus
of
dans le
us we
travail.
lost in
Nous
the work
perdus dans vivre bien.
and living well.
Mais pourtant, la mort, c'est une réalité.
But death is a reality.
Quelqu'un disait,
Someone said,
tout le monde mourit.
everyone dies.
Le pasteur meurt.
The pastor
Même
dies
Jean Ougan, les
the
mourit.
same way as a Buddha priest dies.
Bandit a mouri. Monde de bien
The
mourit.
vagabond died.
Chimè mouri. Monde de bien mourit.
Everyone
Tout
dies.
le monde mourit.
Everyone
Mais
dies.
quelle est la différence,
But
mesdames
what
et
is the
mesdemoiselles et
difference?
messieurs? Oh, la Bible dit,
What the Bible
si
says,
c'est dans cette vie seulement
if
que
it is
nous
in this
espérons
life
en
only
Christ,
that we have hope,
il dit, nous sommes les plus malheureux de tous.
we have the most unfortunate
Si
of
c'est
all.
dans le monde ça
If
seulement
it is
nous
in this world,
espérer
we
en
have,
Dieu,
we have hope
nous
in
sommes
God.
les plus malheureux parce que
We
tout
will
le
be
monde
the
mourit,
most
mesdames, mesdemoiselles et messieurs.
Unfortunate, because everyone
Mais
dies.
qui ça qui différence là
But
en
what
fait?
is the difference?
Et Job nous dit dans Job chapitre 19,
Job said,
à partir du verset 25, hein, il dit, mais je
Verse
sais
19,
que mon rédempteur est vivant.
Job said, I know that my Redeemer
Et il
lives.
dit, moi connais que moi
I
vais
know.
me lever très
will.
bientôt. Il dit, même l'homme t'a tourné poussière.
Even
Zone
though that I
tout
may come
transformé.
to, I may
Il
turn into
dit,
dust,
je
my bones
verrai.
and I will see.
De telle sorte que, mesdames, mesdemoiselles et messieurs, la foi chrétienne lui repose sur la victoire sur la mort.
Hope
La
on the
victoire
victory over death.
La vie de Jésus t'a reflété ça.
And the life of Jesus
Pendant
reflected
toute
that.
sa vie, Il était en combat
throughout his whole
contre la
life.
mort.
He was constantly fighting
la
death.
Bible, ou
And those of you who know the
que
Bible,
Jésus
you will realize that Jesus had a constant battle
face à la mort.
against
La
death.
fille de Jairus mourit. Jésus
The daughter of
ressuscité.
Jairus,
La
Jesus
veuve de
resurrected her.
Naïn, Jésus ressuscité. Son ami Lazare,
Lazarus
lui
died.
mourit.
Jesus
Jésus
resurrected
ressuscité.
him.
Lui engagé le même
He
contre
engaged
la mort. Et ce que j'aime, mesdames, mesdemoiselles et messieurs, le dernier combat contre la mort, Jésus a mené lui-même dans la mort, dans le tombeau.
Fought death
Dernier combat.
at the
Je
tomb.
me attention bien pour
I would
comprendre.
like to get your
L'homme
attention.
vive, lui combattre la mort, et pour
When
lui
he was
remporter
living,
la
he
victoire
fought
sur la
death
mort,
and
il
so
allait
that he
même
could
dans la mort, dans le tombeau, pour
He went and fought
remporter
death
cette victoire.
in the tomb.
Mesdames, mesdemoiselles
So
et
that he
messieurs,
could be
de telle
victorious.
sorte que quand Jésus est mort,
So when
la
Jesus
Bible
died,
nous dit
the Bible
Jésus est ressuscité le
Jesus
troisième
resurrected
jour
the third
après
day
sa mort. Et
after
ce
he
qui
died.
est intéressant,
And what is
Jésus
interesting,
n'est pas ressuscité, même Jean avec Lazare.
Jesus was not
Même Jean
resurrected
avec
like
la
Lazarus
veuve de
did.
Naïn, même Jean avec la fille de Sarepta.
The same.
Ce n'est pas de cette façon que Jésus est
Jesus was not resurrected in the same way.
La parole de Dieu nous dit que
The word of God
Jésus est ressuscité.
Jesus
Il n'est pas
is
passé
resurrected.
même côté de
He did not go
l'entrée.
the same way that he went in.
Au l'autre côté.
But he
Comprenez bien.
get out in a different way. Where?
Jésus a
Jesus.
passé n'importe quel t'es entré, aller la
Jesus
sortie de la
didn't go
mort.
in, didn't go out at the same door that he came in.
Il creusait un trou.
He forged a hole.
Il perçait la mur.
He broke the wall.
Et puis il passait.
Then he got out and left.
Il crasait tombeau, hein, mesdames, mesdemoiselles.
He broke the tomb.
De telle sorte que, pour ça, pour sortir dans la mort,
This hole that he forged,
seul Jésus connaît.
only Jesus knows
Et qui
it.
te me redire encore pour chaque monde qui est là. Jésus est ressuscité des morts.
Jesus resurrected from the
Il a
dead.
ressuscité même Jean avec Lazare.
He did not resurrect the same
Mais
as
il perçait
Lazarus,
un trou dans
but rather he
le mur.
forged a hole.
Et puis il est sorti, mesdames,
But he
mesdemoiselles et
got
messieurs.
out.
Et parce qu'il perçait ce
But because he
trou,
forged his hole,
Jésus ne va jamais mourir encore.
Jesus would never die again.
Lazare est passé par la porte de la mort. Et parce qu'il passait dans la porte là pour sortir, il était mourir à nouveau.
Lazarus came out of the same door that he went in, and that's why he died again.
Nous sentons nous presque comprendre ça me dit là. Jésus pas passé même côté avec Lazare.
Jesus did not go out the same way as
Percé un
Lazarus,
trou
but
dans
rather
le
he
mur.
forged a different way. Yes.
Maintenant vous comprenez.
Now you understand.
Mais pour qui ça là un chrétien malade Jésus pas juste fait le guérir.
But why, when a Christian is sick, Jesus do not just
Pour
heal
qui
him?
ça le Seigneur Jésus pas juste prononcer une parole pour faire Jethro sortir.
Why not the Lord Jesus would just say something that will bring Jethro back to life?
Mais ça pas petit rien.
And that would not mean
Il
anything.
a mourir encore.
He's gonna die again.
Il réserve un jour.
But he has reserved a day.
Tout le monde qui passe dans porte la mort.
Everyone who has gone through that door, the door of
Il va le
death,
montrer au chemin.
but he's gonna show them a different
Va
way.
passer dans porte la mort.
They're not gonna go through
La
the
passer
door,
dans tout que
but rather the door that they
la parole de Dieu qui a raison,
And
elle dit,
that's why the word of
je suis la vérité et la vie. Seul Jésus, c'est le
No, and Jesus is the way.
monde qui veut mourir et qui veut ressusciter pour
The
le
word is dead.
faut que Jésus dans la vie.
And has hope of resurrected.
Voilà
Must have Jesus in life. And this is why
Le chrétien mourir,
Christian is dead.
ça fait nous mal nous séparer avec lui.
That
Nous avons
hurts
la
us.
conviction que très bientôt,
But we have convicted
la passer dans le trou Jésus de fer.
that they will go to
Il
that
pourra le vivre pour le
door
temps et
that
pour
Jesus
l'éternité.
forged, and they will go live for all
Est-ce
eternity.
que vous avez compris ça?
Now, do you understand this?
Jésus perce un trou.
Jesus made a way.
Vous comprenez maintenant quand l'apôtre Paul dit,
And I understand when the apostle
le
Paul
jour
said,
viendra où nous dirons,
the day will come
oh
when we say,
mort, où est ta victoire?
where is thy
Oh
victory?
mort, où est ton guillon?
Oh, death, where is thy sting?
Jésus passait un trou dans la mort.
Jesus forged
La
a
mort
way.
pas qu'à faire même bagaille là encore.
Death could not do
Mesdames,
the same way.
mesdemoiselles et messieurs, si quelqu'un n'a pas Jésus dans sa vie,
Beloved, if someone has not Jesus in their life,
il est mort net.
you die for good.
La mort brisée, il est brisé net.
Death has reigned over you. Death has reigned over you
La
forever.
conviction.
But we have the
C'est
conviction.
d'être sérieux ça que la mort frappe.
This serious man, this valiant
On a
man,
une intelligence ça.
this intelligent man,
Il est pour le ressusciter des
he
morts.
will one day resurrect head of the dead.
Manis actimonio.
Manny's in the case.
Séparation en Dieu.
The separation is
Oh,
hard.
mais rencontre là très bientôt à glorieux,
The
mesdames et
shall
mesdemoiselles et
one day
messieurs.
have a
Et
glorious
c'est ça que
meeting
matin,
with
moi,
God.
je dis, nous t'en prie, quittez les yeux, nous fixer
And that is
sur
why this
le
morning I am
futur,
telling you to
mais
let
non
your
pas
eyes
sur le
fixate
passé.
on the future, but not the past.
Futur,
Yes,
pas
the
sur le
future.
passé.
Your future must not
Il
be
est
in the
déjà
past,
mort.
but he's already dead.
Mais il est pour le ressusciter.
But he will resurrect again.
Gardez vos yeux sur la résurrection, mesdames et mesdemoiselles et
Keep your
messieurs.
eyes fixated on the
L'espoir ne
resurrection.
regarde pas en arrière.
Do not look back.
La vie pas fait back. La vie
Life
continue.
does not go back. Life goes on.
On qui a espérance, c'est
Those who have hope,
le passé est mort.
the
Et le
past is
problème
dead.
de l'humanité, c'est que yo
The problem of this world that we're
sur
living
le
in,
passé.
we focus too much on the past.
Ou pas jamais moi pour un monde parler de où c'est de passé ou que pas.
Yeah, every time someone starts to talk about you, they start to talk about your past.
Alors que le passé déjà mort.
But the past is gone.
Ou pas jamais moi pour un monde gon idée pour le parler de où à un tel ça que t'es volé cabrit là. Passé qui est
The
mort.
past is dead. They're
L'homme
always
est
trying to wait to
maintenant
bring
un
up your
directeur
past.
quelconque. Mais pour yon ka expliquer lui, yon pas dit le directeur, mais yon aller dans le passé. Vous vivez dans le passé. C'est ça qui fait nous pas d'espérance.
That's why we do not have this
C'est ça
hope.
qui fait figuer nous freiner quand chose terrible arrive.
That's why our countenance fell when such things happened.
Parce que nous vivons dans le passé.
Because we live
Mais
in the
celui qui
past.
vit dans le futur,
But those who live in the future,
rayonner d'espoir et d'espérance. Parce
the
que
countenance shine
mesdames,
with hope.
mesdemoiselles et messieurs. T'es comme membre d'église mourir.
And when a church member is dead,
Avant de mourir,
before they die,
il voyait les pasteurs.
but they sent for the pastor,
C'est pas moi-même, c'est ton autre pasteur.
not him, but someone else.
Et puis il dit, passe, on
And
va
they said, Pastor,
gagner. Pour vous même, vous faites pour moi.
I would like for you to do something
mourir.
for me when I'm dead,
Parce que mon lacaille, moi, pas comprendre ça.
because people at home may not understand
Le
that.
pasteur de lui demander, mais c'est quoi exactement?
And the pastor said, what is it exactly?
Il dit,
He said, I would like,
le mourir,
when I'm dead,
pour nous mettre dans ces cailles-là.
put in my coffin
Une fourchette, un coton qui est.
a fork, a knife, and a spoon.
Il dit, mon lacaille, moi, pas comprendre ça.
My people would not understand that.
Le pasteur a dit, mais ça pour faire un coton qui est avec
The
fourchette.
pastor said, what would you need? A spoon, a fork, and a knife?
Il dit, je sais que très bientôt,
He said, I know soon.
Jésus promet nous un grand banquet.
Jesus promised me a great banquet.
Il dit, j'ai besoin de marcher tout pareil.
I want to go prepared
Pour me capable de festoyer avec Jésus de Nazareth.
so that I can have this feast with Jesus.
Après le mourir,
He's going to die,
mes yeux, lui, c'est sur le futur.
but his eyes is
De
fixated
telle
in
sorte
the
que lui
future.
mourir avec sourire aux lèvres.
So he
Tout
died
n'est pas fini quand un petit bon
with
Dieu
smiles on his
mourir,
face
mesdames et
because
messieurs.
everything is not
C'est
over.
juste une séparation.
Because it's just a separation.
Nous allons nous sortir comme ça avec conviction ça.
I would like for you to leave
Et
with
si
that
vous
same
aimez
belief,
Jethro,
that same conviction.
Mettez ça dans la tête, non. C'est pas fini pour lui.
And it is not over for
Traverser,
Jethro.
attendre ça Jésus qui pour porter pour nous.
He has moved over and then
Et
awaited
quand
what Jesus
la
has reserved
sortie,
for him.
chaque monde qui pour faire même direction. Ou pas le mourir t'aller comme ça.
And as for everyone here, we
Sauf
all
que-
will die.
Ou après rentrer dans la porte là. Mais
You're gonna
assurez,
go to the door, out of work.
c'est coronavirus.
It's the COVID-19.
Ce sont les familles déchirées.
It is the broken family.
Le futur.
The future.
C'est ce nouveau monde.
Future.
C'est ce nouveau monde. Mesdames et messieurs, dit premier ciel là,
The first
première terre là a
heaven
disparaître.
and the first earth will be no more.
Capral descendre.
A new city
Côté toute petite bon Dieu yo
where all the people of God said
dans Apocalypse chapitre 21.
in Revelation chapter 21,
La scié toute l'eau dans Jésus.
he will wipe every tear from
Il
the
dit
eye.
la mort ne sera plus.
Death will be no more.
Il n'y aura plus de deuil,
There will be no more
ni
death,
cri,
no more hurt,
ni douleur,
no more pain,
car les premières choses sont disparues.
because all,
Mesdemoiselles et messieurs,
ladies and gentlemen,
j'ai tout entré dans la mort.
Jethro,
Mais il pour le sortir vivant avec Jésus de Nazareth.
but he will come out alive with Jesus
Jésus
Christ.
est mort, il est ressuscité.
They be
Nous autres qui
resurrected.
aimons, qui sont conviction, que nous avons pour nous
But we
suivre
have the
Jethro
hope,
très
we
bientôt.
have the conviction that we will see Jethro
Mais
soon,
nous allons voir lui,
but we will see
là
him
nous ressusciter des morts.
when we are resurrected from the dead.
Les biens que Jethro t'a conduit,
Things that he has
pardonnez
done,
au nom
because
de
he
Dieu, aller en paix.
made Jethro in
Et
peace.
que famille capable de consoler.
May the family,
Parce que dans tout ça,
Be at
Jésus
peace.
t'est passé.
may God bless you all. Nous arrivons dans la dernière partie programme là. Et donc maintenant on a fait appel avec sœur Marie-Ange Louis dans un chant spécial. À nouveau, nous allons auditionner ensemble sœur Marie-Ange Louis. Et ensuite, ce sera le remerciement avec frère Banex Milsé.
D'être à toi pour la mort et la vie dans les jours mauvais de chanter avec foi. Tout est bien, ma paix t'est finie. Quel repos, quel repos, quel repos, quel repos, quel repos, quel céleste repos. Quel repos céleste, mon fardeau n'est plus libre par le sang du calvaire. Tous mes ennemis, j'ai dû les vaincus. Gloire et louange à Dieu, notre Père. Quel repos, quel repos, quel repos, quel repos, quel céleste repos, quel ô céleste, tu conduis mes pas. Tu me comblais de tes richesses dans ton grand amour. Chaque jour, tu seras déployé envers moi tes tendresses. Quel repos, quel repos, quel repos, quel repos, quel ô céleste, parfait Seigneur. Au de toi j'aurai ma place à vous. La douleur, quel repos, quel
vie et nous espérer que ou toujours qu'aimer cette famille en prière parce que y a besoin ça, y a besoin support nous, y a besoin prière nous, continuer et qu'aimer dans la prière, continuer et intercéder en leur faveur. Merci d'être présent, merci du fait que nous faisons tout effort pour nous là, nous sortir de loin ou de près, pour nous capables de rendre cérémonie ça possible. Et nous tout le monde qui siège, nous disons merci. Et nous demandons dans moment ça pour capable de faire camper, pour nous chanter le dernier chant au programme. Dans deux programmes, le numéro 392, le Canaan qu'envers nous. Et puis, nous allons faire la dernière prière pour nous rendre pour nous passer le micro à funérailles. Nous chanter ensemble.